Monday Night Football, baby. We're here.
Touchdown in 46 seconds. Punches back. Touchdown.
Oh, if you didn't know, it's the Print Factory here on a Monday. We're talking NBA playoffs. We're talking MLB. Three-man booth right now. Big T, DC, myself, JSU. Smash the like button on the video here. We're going to get into a ton of winners here. We got NBA playoffs still rolling. MLB. Great slate on DraftKings as well. Weird start time, though, for MLB. For those of you that didn't see it and are just pulling the slate up now, it does start at 6:40 Eastern time. So make sure you guys remember that. Lock time is not the normal 7:05 for baseball. It's at 6:40 Eastern. Still plenty of time, so don't sweat. We're going to go NBA first, MLB second, but I just wanted to make that note that the start time in MLB is not the usual 7:05. It's 6:40 Eastern time. Big T, what's going on, man? How was your weekend of sports?
Yeah, it was good. Yesterday we kind of talked about the NBA, and I think we gave a good breakdown too. Three somewhat blowouts, and then the Magic. The Magic were kind of the team we said could have a chance to be the upset of the round, just because the matchups were good.
They were the only team we said.
Yeah. And you just look at it, and there's just not. I mean, as far as like tonight's games. You got Toronto. A lot of people thought Toronto maybe could give Cleveland a game. I don't necessarily think that. Maybe they win one at home, but I don't think it's like a super long series. Atlanta and the Knicks. Atlanta can definitely win at home. I don't think they can win the whole series, but I mean, Atlanta can win. Knicks always go 7 games. It feels like 6 or 7. I don't think Atlanta will win the series, but I think the Knicks will handle it in 6 or 7. And then Denver, who struggled a little bit against DC's Minnesota. I'm glad DC's on here for the Minnesota side, but I feel like it's a pretty big mismatch this year as opposed to past years. Well, I'll be interested to hear what DC says, though, about that game. I don't know. I'm excited for another night of hoops, though. 3 games. I actually like the 3-gamers better than the 4-gamers. Nice little 7, 8, 10, 30. That's a perfect slate for me. 3 games spread out over the whole evening. I like that.
You always like the shorter the better. So any
I like 3 though. 3's like I really like 3. 3's a great number.
3's your sweet spot right
there.
there.
I like 3 a lot. 2's maybe just 1. 3's perfect for me.
All right, 3's perfect. DC, you like 3-game slates, or are you more of a 4, 5, 6 game slate guy?
I think during the playoffs, 3's kind of perfect. Perfect amount to choose from. Regular season, I like to have more options, but yeah, 3-game basketball slate, none of the games starting at the same time makes for fun night of DFS. And kind of tuned out a little bit on the NBA from the start of baseball to the end of the NBA regular season, but playoffs are here, and we're back in on the NBA streets. Gotta see if my Wolves can pull out the upset against Denver. Seems like these two teams play each other every single year, Big T, and honestly, they're usually some pretty good series, when it's all said and done. So
great.
I kind of agree with you. Wolves seem not at their peak at the moment. But I thought Ant looked pretty good. I think he missed, 12 of the last 14 games to end the regular season. So that was kind of the most important thing for me with the Wolves is, does Ant look like himself? I thought he did for the most part. So I think they got a chance.
Yeah, I mean, Ant played 38 minutes. I think there was a question on the minutes and stuff. He played 38, 7 of 19 from the field. I think 2 for 9 from 3. That's not going to get it done with Ant. You know, to beat this Nuggets team, I personally think they need 2 things. And obviously one is Ant needs to play well. That has to be a thing. My X factor, though, for them is a guy you guys probably won't think of. It's Naz Reid, because Rudy Gobert just gets cooked every time he's out there. Whenever they put Julius on Nikola Jokic, that's just an easy shoot right over the top of him bucket anytime he wants. Naz Reid is like the one X factor because he gives them that actual punch. They just leave Julius Randle at the 3-point line. You can't do that with Naz Reid. And 17 minutes, 2 for 6 from the field, had a couple turnovers, some bad fouls. He was super frustrated in the game. If you watched him, like every time he got a foul called on him, he was like grabbing his head, walking on over, talking to the ref. And it was just, you could tell the Nuggets got in his head and he was just completely checked out of that game. They can't have that bad of a Naz Reid game the way that the Nuggets are defending Julius Randle right now with no respect at the 3-point line. They need Naz Reid to be good. I think he's like the X factor outside of obviously Anthony Edwards playing well. Big T, I see you kind of smiling over there, smirking a little bit.
I just think I think it's funny because in general, I agree with you. And on this show with DC, I like to say my take and then the numbers like have him make fun of me. So Adam, my buddy Adam Mares posted this whole clip of how much better the T-Wolves are with Gobert on the court. I couldn't even believe it. I had to like double check it.
What do you mean, from game one or just
no, like the whole stretch ever since Cat got traded for Randall.
Okay.
When Gobert is off the court, they're like the worst team in the league against the Nuggets because Jokic, there's just not enough size. Like he just shreds. Because I thought the same thing, and that's why I think it's funny because we think alike on a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
But the actual numbers, like Jokic just destroys Randall and Nas.
Well, he does destroy him.
But he helps more on offense too. With Nas will help more on offense.
Right.
It's just that's another reason I think the series is, even though I hate Cat, he did give a little bit of issues to like another big body. He can stretch. Randall just stinks. And
he can stretch though. That's the thing. Yeah. So when you play Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert together, the offense actually, when I was listening to the game, I forget who was calling it, but they made a really good point where the Nuggets just made it look like the Minnesota offense was just constant isolation one-on-one game. And it just didn't look like it was like free-flowing. When the Nuggets are good, they got the 2-man game rolling. Jokic is, getting everyone involved, not just doing everything himself. The Minnesota offense is like the opposite. Like it felt like Ant was forcing it at times, trying to go 1-on-4. Every time he drove, too, the Nuggets had 3 bodies, like literally 3 bodies thrown at him, and every single person was staring at him with the ball. So like
a lot of non-shooters out there from Minnesota,
especially if they don't guard Randall, right? Because then you've got Aaron Gordon lurking in the paint.
They want Randall to shoot, right?
No, exactly. So you challenge him to shoot, and if he can't make them, I mean, he can't. Gordon's got to be one of the toughest individual matchups for Randall to try to score down low on of anybody in the league, right? You can match him physically. So, yeah, kind of a tough spot for the Wolves. I agree.
Wolves miss Nah a lot. I mean, Ayo's supposed to be like the Nah replacement, but I mean, Ayo's good. I mean, but that's
fine. I mean, he's a good role player, but he doesn't got the juice for. I mean, he played good the other day too, but he doesn't got the juice.
No, he's not a difference maker per se for the series.
He's better than Conley though, for sure. He's definitely got more than Conley.
I mean, Conley's just at this point. How much does Conley actually have left? Like he had that one little stretch in the beginning of the game where he got Aaron Gordon that foul.
Yeah,
and he got a steal and he gave him a little spark in the like very beginning, but that was it. That was literally all he had. So. But we'll break down. We'll talk the DFS side of that game. I did think we gave a pretty good breakdown yesterday on some of the DFS stuff for the NBA slate. So we'll go through these 3 games. Anything else from the weekend, Tony, of NBA or anything else that you wanted to bring up before we dive in?
Not that I remember. It was MMA was pretty good. You guys both do MMA. It was pretty good. Nothing crazy though. A bunch of baseball winners. We're gonna get to baseball in a minute. All kinds of freaking baseball screenshots again with the hub, and I'll wait till the baseball portion to talk about that. But yeah, bunch of great stuff going on right now.
Yeah, tons of great stuff going on. Promo code right now, Tony. Playoffs what?
Playoff 26% off. We'll probably run it for at least a couple weeks here too. 26% off, the same selling point I always say, but even off the annual, like you can get a full year of Run Pure for under $600, all sports, everything. So I think that's like the best deal going. 26% off though, if you want to check us out, even if it's weekly, sign up for a weekly. That's hardly any cost just to check it out. See if you like it. I think you will.
Yep. Love it. Love it. Let's get into the 3 NBA games here. And we'll start off with the first game going at 7:00, Toronto and Cleveland here. Toronto does have, a little bit of a questionable tag here with Emmanuel Quickly, who we'll see what happens with him. He feels kind of up in the air right now. Obviously didn't play in game 1. Jamal Sheed played, I think it was like almost 30 minutes, high 20s. Yeah, 28 minutes for Sheed in that first game here. He's 4,300. I'm sure he's going to be popping as a value here. But I'll be honest, like out of all 3 games, if you just told me I had to take one game out for DFS, like I had to make this a 2-game slate, guys, I think the Toronto Cleveland game would be the game I'd want to cut out and make the 2 later games the 2 games to focus on. So this is definitely going to be the game, at least when I build my lineups, I'm going to be the lowest on from like a stacking standpoint or anything like that. But obviously Cleveland's still at home, favorites here. I mean, Tony, are favorites just going to rule the day again? I mean, what are we doing?
I mean, I struggle to see the dogs. Once we switch back to the Toronto, to Atlanta, to Minnesota, I always think it gets way more interesting once it flips venues. But I don't know. Cleveland just feels like they're going to win easy tonight to me. The prices are somewhat decent though on Cleveland guys. Like Donovan Mitchell kind of looks like Tatum yesterday in his own way, where he feels too cheap, 8,700. I feel like he can get you a little upside. Harden too. I want one of those. I bet one of those 2 has a good game for sure. Jared Allen's pretty cheap. I don't need any of the cheap guys. And then Toronto, I would struggle to play anybody from Toronto. I think like BI will get some ownership because he's only 6,900, but I don't love it. I don't feel great about his game in the postseason going against a team like Cleveland. So yeah, I mean, in general, I agree. I like this game probably the least of the 3, but there are a few pieces that it's hard too, because if you like guys like Brunson, Jokic, Jamal Murray, guys like that, it's hard to fit Harden, Donovan Mitchell, guys like that. So yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, it's like you got to compare them to like Harden and Donnie. You got to compare to Brunson and Cat. You know what I mean? You got to compare them to the other guys in that range. But I agree with you. Like Donnie seems like the best play. Lefty Shank says you guys got me on the Magic stack last night with Tatum and won the $40 single entry. Love to see it, Big T. Love to see that.
Yep. Yes, sir. Love it.
Tatum and friggin' Tatum too. I thought we were getting the triple double. We lost that run at the end for the blowout run, man. I thought he was gonna do it. He went 2 quarters without an assist. Started out with 11. First quarter had 11, 7, and 4, and I was like, oh my god, he's gonna do it for it. We're gonna get this in 3 quarters, and then went 2 full quarters without an assist after that. I saw a site that will not be named that tweeted out triple double watch after the first quarter, and I'm blaming them. Of course, it was not our partner DraftKings. Shout out DraftKings. We love DraftKings. It was another site, and I'm blaming them for jinxing my Jason Tatum bet, DC. I was not happy. I had Jason Tatum at 15-1 for a triple double, but we move on. That's okay. We move on here. What do you think with Toronto and Cleveland? Are you seeing anything that you need to have in this game?
Well, obviously, a lot depends on Quickly if he goes or not. I kind of think he's going to sit. I mean, missed the first game with a hamstring injury, right? So it's you're not sitting out the first game of the playoffs, if you're good to go. So, and the hamstring's a real thing, especially for like a fast twitch guard who needs to get downhill like quickly. If it's a big man or something, maybe you can play through it, but kind of think Quickly sits. And yeah, I mean, Ingram, Barrett, I think are interesting. if you haven't noticed, like all the prices on DraftKings kind of went down for these players, like 500 to 1,000 in general, pretty much across the board, except for Jokic, who just kept his 12.4K price tag. So you kind of look at the price tags and they seem really enticing, but if everybody went down, right, it's all relative. So like you said, Mitchell seems like a bargain, but you got to compare him to Anthony Edwards and Karl Anthony Towns. So I'm with you. I think the least interesting game of the night. I do think the Raptors side, definitely some interest if Quickly sits, if he's in, not a ton. I think you can play Mitchell, but I prefer both Edwards and Towns in that kind of mid 8K price range. Obviously not all the same position. Same with Harden. So I'm mostly off of Cleveland, and I'm with you guys. I think if there's going to be one blowout, this would be my game to predict that it would come with the easy Cleveland victory. So not going crazy with this game for DFS.
Jim Jerry says, hit the Reddick too in the NASCAR, had it parlayed with Tatum triple-double. Tony, those are like the fun bets. I posted a couple parlays yesterday in the Discord, just some fun long shot odds. But isn't that fun when you could take like a NASCAR, outright, or a golf outright, and you pair it with like a 15-1 triple-double or a home run or two or something like that to just boost those odds? I mean, those are the slips. You hit one of those, man, and you're going to be feeling great.
Yeah, and they're just fun sweat because it gets you a sweat in a few different sports. I love stuff like that.
Yeah, I love it too. I love messing around. DC always makes fun of me when I start doing this stuff, but I do love messing around with my home run, triple-double, NASCAR or golf outright. Give me.
JC, do you ever make a singles bet, just one bet if there's no boost, or is it always? It's got to be always parlay.
I need a boost to make a singles bet.
Yeah.
Like I need a boost. Like I got a boost in the Celtics game to get Tatum from like 15 to like 18-1 triple-double. So I bet that. I got a boost in I got to have like a boost to do like a singles bet. Unless you tell me like a future that I can get like, 10-1. Like you gave me the Sal Stewart future. I bet that one single for what was it? And was it rookie of the year or and a rookie? So I bet that one. But yeah, it's got to be something like that, or I'm not doing it. So you'll very rarely see me just go in there and be like, I like the over on Jason Tatum at 10.5 and bet it.
You got to throw in a few home runs in there as well.
Yeah, you got to throw a few home runs in there as well. So yeah, I'm definitely a donkey from that standpoint, but it's all in fun. That's why I it's fun. I want fun, and I want to sweat out winning, 25 to 100K DC. So there you go.
Yeah.
Let's go to, I think we're good here. If Jamal Sheed were to get the run again, no Quickly, Tony, is he just a lock for you? I got to ask this question before.
No, he's not a lock for me. I mean, if Quickly was out, I would project him for, low 20s. So yeah, he's a good play, but definitely not a lock. He's just not good enough offensively. He's still going to draw a lot of fouls on these guards, Harden. I think he's a good matchup. Like I think they honestly should maybe start him no matter what happens with Quickly. He matches up good on defense. He's not going to give you that much on offense, though. I think he's fine. Like I don't think you like. But as we get to these next games, like DC said, you have some guys that their price is crazy cheap. So I don't like Sheed that much, but he's fine.
Yeah, I was asking this because Left Shank says any love for Cleveland cheapies, and I was just thinking cheapies in general in this game. And I'm like, man, I kind of like cheapies in some of these other games. So do I have to go to it? I will say though, like I wouldn't be shocked if Toronto played a little more of Colin Murray Boyles at some point in this series. Just as like to change it up. I don't know if it's going to be game 2, but I could see him, earning more run as this series goes on. It might wait until game 3 when they're in Toronto, but he's someone, if I was playing a bunch of lineups, I'd keep him in the pool at 3,900 for a cheap play. And, Sheed obviously would be in the pool. Cleveland, I don't like Cleveland's cheapies though as much. I mean, Max Struss would be the only one, but we're going to get to other guys that I think I like a little bit more. So that would really be it. But let's go to Atlanta in the Knicks here. Very interesting game for DFS. And I think the price tags are one of the main factors. I mean, you look at it, and it's exactly what DC was talking about. Like, everyone in this series, they just dropped them like 500 to 1,000 for every single price tag draft sheet. Like, Josh Hart is 5,500, OG's 5,800, Dyson Daniels down to 6,200. You got Cat and Brunson, low 8Ks, 82 and 8,300 for these guys. I mean, this game stack is easy in this game with these price tags, DC.
Yeah, with the condensed minutes that comes with the playoffs, and then you have the reduced price tags on a lot of these guys. I think that the mid-tier build, right? A lot of these kind of 6 to 9K players makes a lot of sense. Obviously, you might have to leave out Jokic, which is tough to do. But, yeah, I think like all the price tags in this game seem kind of too low relative to the slate. So McCollum, really like what I've seen out of him. I think they just need his scoring. I mean, you got 20 shot attempts in 34 minutes in that first game. You know the minutes are going to be there for Nah. Played 39 minutes. Jalen Johnson, I think, is a good play. Those three are the main three I'm looking at with Atlanta. Do we expect a Kongwu to play? I think so, right? Right knee inflammation.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah,
as of now.
I think he should be in there. He's interesting too. 37 minutes in that game, up from his normal allotment. Had a pretty good game as well. 6,100 for a Kongwu feels cheap as well. He was firing away from three in that one. So, yeah, I think all the Hawks main guys are pretty good plays. Really, most of their starters. And the Knicks guys seem too cheap too. I mean, 5,500 for like 35 to 40 minutes of Josh Hart. Hard for me to pass up. I think Miles McBride looks like a decent value play, playing in the low 20s minutes. I think Alvarado going to be out of the rotation for the Knicks, so looks like McBride should be in there for decent run most games. And yeah, I mean, Brunson and Cat are a good place too in that low AK range, just a little too cheap. Brunson obviously had the super hot start to start that last game against the Hawks. So yeah, you're talking game stack, JSU. This makes a lot of sense. I mean, you know where the minutes are going to go. I don't think there's going to be really anybody that like steals production out of nowhere. Hard to imagine who that would be on either team. So you can lock in the minutes here. I think this game will be close. Look pretty evenly matched. I know the Knicks kind of pulled away with it late, but I think the Hawks can compete with this team. Wouldn't be surprised to see more scoring in this game than the first one. The pace looked pretty good. So I think overall, maybe my favorite game of the night here.
Yeah, and I saw Mama Rocks ask, would CMB, I missed this question, get blowout run? AP posted the charts, and he did not get the full actual ending of blowout run. But AP posted those charts in there where you can see kind of who finished out the game. I think for Toronto, it was Battle, Mogbu, Trace Jackson Davis, AJ Lawson, and Grady Dick were the five at the very end that finished. So, yeah, that just to answer your question there, because I wanted to make sure I got that one. And DC, before I turn it to Tony here, if you had to pick between Brunson and Cat, who are you taking tonight?
I'm going Cat tonight, but never feel great riding with Cat. But I do
Big
like
Purr. Him. DC's on Big Purr. Tony,
ends well. Yeah.
No, it really doesn't. Tony, what do you think of Big Purr here at 8,300 coming off of a good game for fantasy?
Yeah, I mean, I struggle with Cat. I'll always side Brunson. I think in the 1v1 there, I'd have to go Brunson. I think, but like you guys said, all these guys are too cheap. Especially Josh Hart. Josh Hart's my favorite. I mean, 5,500. He's going to play a zillion minutes. Always just solid. He even has upside if he hits some shots. Mikal Bridges feels too cheap, but he's so bad anymore. Like, I watch him. He's just so bad.
Bro, just strap a condom on now. I mean,
like,
come on.
I mean, he's so bad. So.
They finally priced him correctly, though,
yeah.
at least.
I hope it makes people play him too. I think it will. I mean, people are going to see that price tag. People are going to be all over this game as far as the prices, which the build I like is a little contrarian tonight, probably because I won't be as heavy as you guys on this game. I do think though, if I'm playing multiple teams, I would just stack this game, and then my other teams I'd be light on this game. So go like two totally different builds. Because my worry with the like Denver game is just I have a worry they could blow them out, which kills Jokic, kills some of those guys. But if that game stays close, I'm pretty confident Ant's going to get there. These guys are going to crush if it stays close. So I might just do two teams tonight or something where I build my normal team and then I stack this game because this game does stack really, really nice. You can probably even come up with a stack that you stack it with Jokic or Ant or something in that game. So, yeah, I mean, you guys are right. All the prices are too cheap. One guy I'm definitely not going to play is Kuminga. I think he's going to get ownership. He didn't show me anything again. I don't know. I mean, how many minutes did he even play? Looking at it.
Yeah, quite a few.
27. I mean, he had 14 fantasy points and 27. He's another guy that just we think he's better than he is. His price is so cheap, he's going to get owned. I think there's going to be a ton of ownership in this game for a 3 because everybody's so cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense. But on my main team, which I love right now, I only have one guy from this game, Josh Hart.
Brittany asked, Big T, you making that playoff sheet like you did last? I forgot about that playoff sheet.
What'd I do?
You had like a playoff sheet all set up. We showed it a bunch on the show. I think he needs a little more sample though.
I don't remember what it was. What was it?
I remember the sheet. I don't remember exactly.
I don't remember what I even did. So
I'm gonna have
tell
to
me.
go
I'm
back.
sure I can do it.
I'm gonna have to go back and look. I'll go back and find it. But I know
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember.
Yeah,
I think it might have been like a showdown sheet or something.
It was like a minutes chart too. Yeah.
Minutes chart? Man, I can't remember. I'll have to look.
It was definitely though for showdown. That's why I'm saying it wasn't at this point.
Minutes though? I had minutes on a sheet. I can't remember. If someone shows me what it was, I'll
Brittany
definitely.
said it was an Excel sheet with player points and minutes.
Yeah, I'll have to look because I like that kind of stuff. I'll look. I don't remember what it actually was.
Yeah. I can go back and find it too, but Mike W says Big T's cooked.
That's probably true.
The gummies, Big Nerd 44. Get your shit together. Get your Excel
sheet. Right
sheet.
now, there's not gummies right now, Mike, but later.
Well, perfect timing then. Get your Excel sheet. Get your
numbers. I don't even know what it was called. I can't remember what I used.
Put your glasses on. Let's go. Get your shit together here. All right. So Big T doesn't like this game. Classic. I will say the one thing about Jonathan Kuminga and the Hawks in general is they really did push like pretty much 6 guys, like 6 guys pretty much. They gave Gabe Vincent 15 minutes, which okay. Ricochet got 2 minutes, which I mean he shouldn't even have gotten that.
2 minutes too many for Ricochet.
Yeah, 2 minutes too many. Knick fans love it when he gets any minutes. I'll tell you that. He's terrible. And then Mohamed Gay got 11 minutes. That was it, man. They pretty much played an 8-man rotation. I mean, even the Knicks, they played 4 guys, double-digit minutes. Clarkson got 11, Mitch Robb, 15, Landry Shamet 18, Miles McBride 21. Like the Hawks are just so condensed. These guys are going to play 40 minutes close to it, in my opinion, here, especially as they get more desperate. So, it's tough for me to get away from the 6-man. And on top of it, Tony doesn't like Jonathan Kuminga, but Jonathan Kuminga was very passive in that last game. He is not normally like that. So I don't think that happens again. So I think he's got a good chance to probably get there at his price tag. So I think I like him a little bit more than Tony. I definitely like Dyson Daniels. He's a guy who can get there without even scoring. So I always like players like that in fantasy. They're always like my favorite because you don't really need them to score that many points to get there, which is crazy. You can't say that about many guys. You used to be able to say that about Draymond Green, like nightly, where Draymond Green, like you didn't even care if he got you 6 actual points because in fantasy terms, he was getting like 10 rebounds and 8 assists and 4 stocks. And so it didn't matter if he scored or not. Dyson Daniels is very similar in that aspect of fantasy scoring. So I don't know how you can't like him a little bit. CJ looks too cheap. And then I like Hart and OG. Those are like the two guys. Everyone's going to try and figure out between Towns and Brunson. I might spend up in the next game, but get my mid-tier options in this game here is the way I'm looking at it. So that's probably the way I'm going to build, just because of these prices that they're just tough to get away. So is what it is. Where am I? Where are you at? I am at my house in the basement. As I got sent down here because my kid was born, and my wife said, you're no longer allowed to have your office upstairs. It's got to go downstairs. So this is my new office. Tony likes it.
Well, it looks great.
Thank you. It's going to look better. By the way, I got a Shaq jersey coming for this wall over here. Tony said that I'm not allowed to have a Shaq jersey because I'm a little guy. That's what he said.
You can't be under 5'7" and have Shaq gear.
Signed Shaq jersey. What do you want me to give it away?
Yeah.
He said, yeah.
I'm not allowed to have a Muggsy Bogues jersey. You're not allowed to have a Shaq jersey.
Will you wear the Shaq jersey? I want to see it fit on you. It sounds like it's like a game worn signed jersey.
The game worn isn't going to fit on his whole wall. If it's game worn.
Dude, I got this thing framed. First of all, it's framed. Okay. All right. Second of all, it's not fitting me. It's a big jersey. It's a big jersey that's signed. I'm not wearing it. It's going right up on that wall right there. All the GOATs on the wall. These guys make fun of me because I have all the old heads, but I got Jordan, Kobe, AI. It's going to be Shaq. And then you can't see over here, but you got Bird and, Paul. Well, Paul Pierce kind of towards the end. Not. I guess that kind of counts, right? Paul Pierce. And then all I need is Rondo, and then we'll be rolling here. Got all my GOATs on the wall. Tony, am I missing anyone? Am I missing any NBA GOATs?
I don't think so.
Yeah, no. I don't think so either.
There's no 41-year-olds winning games in the playoffs. So, I mean, why say anything about him?
Yeah, no, there's no one, DC. There's no 41-year-olds winning games right now in the playoffs, facing that terrible Houston team. God, that team is hot. If there was one team I could get out, it would be Houston. I hate watching Houston. That's like the team. I think I hate watching Houston more than I hate watching LeBron. That's saying something.
Well, did they roll out Durant for the playoffs? I think I saw that, and then they said maybe not.
I think that I just saw questionable before we went live or something like that for this show. So, yeah, Kevin Durant is a game time decision for Tuesday.
What even happened to him? How does he just was he not fine coming into the playoffs?
I'm not sure. So they say knee. I don't know if this happened right before, but I remember on a show way back, DC, it might have been with you. I don't know who it was on, but I remember way back when, I'm talking February or something like that, where I was like, why the fuck are they playing Kevin Durant 40 minutes a night? Like, he's old. Like, he's going to break down. Why are we playing him 40 minutes? And now look, it's the playoffs and he can't even fucking play because he's banged up, probably from them going to, but they needed him to play 40 minutes because they suck. So
they got no scoring without KD. They're in trouble.
They're in trouble. Yeah, they're in trouble for sure. Here. All right, so that's game 2. Let's finish this out with Minnesota and Denver. And I just got to go back to Big T here as the Denver homer. We'll let him go first. Tony, first of all, do you think the Nuggets roll, or do you think this game is close? And what are you doing with DFS?
Yeah, I mean, I think they win, but I don't know. They always seem to play them close. Minnesota, I think Ant will be good again. Maybe I'm just hoping it stays close for fantasy because I do think it's a bigger mismatch than it's been the last few years. But, man, I mean, these prices. So you guys talked about the Hawks. Like, for one, I do not understand Bruce Brown. Like, he's 3,900, which is fine. But his projection's like 15. I don't remotely understand that. He's going to have a way bigger postseason role. I mean, I literally don't know. That's like a free square to me that no one else, like he's going to be under 10% owned, and it's like a free square to me. I cored him on Saturday. I'll core him again tonight. I just don't get it, I guess. Like, he's the perfect example of a guy that's going to play way more in the postseason. I wish I smoked weed with Ben Wallace. I would do that.
Ben Wallace seems like a cool dude.
Yeah, I'd do that for sure. But so all these guys, though, Aaron Gordon, 5,600, crazy price. Christian Brown, 4,600, crazy price. Cameron Johnson, I don't think as crazy because it's all shooting with him. Like Christian Brown, Gordon, Bruce Brown can do other stuff. I don't think Cameron Johnson's a bad play, but I don't think he's as good as the other guys. And he's going to be higher owned than the other guys just because of his role. His talent's probably a little higher. And even Hardaway had a bad first game. He's only 4K. So, like, for me, these Nuggets, I know I'm partial. I get it. Everybody make fun of it. But, man, these prices are just crazy to play with. And Jokic, like DC said, he's the only one that didn't move. He's a little tougher to fit, but there's so much value that it's easy for me to get there. I mean, these prices are just crazy. And even Ant at 8,400 feels crazy. So for me, I mean, I'm just slamming this game. Like I said, I'll have probably Josh Hart with it. Not a ton with it, though. Just this game. I think this game is awesome. Honestly, my two teams, I might stack this game and then stack the next game. And those are my kind of two teams. But if this game stays close, I don't see how this game doesn't just nuke. All the prices are too cheap. Jaden McDaniels is too cheap. Naz Reid is too cheap. I don't know. I like this game. So, I mean, everyone knows I'm going to like it. They want to hear your guys' takes because I'm the homer on this.
Oh, they love hearing the Big T Nuggets takes.
Bruce Brown's the one I want to hear, though, because I don't understand his projection. How is he projected for 15? I don't get that.
Well, first of all, Bruce Brown is one of those guys, like, he did get 5 stocks. Let's just throw that out there. But he also is a playoff guy. So, like, the regular season to him, they wanted this dude for the playoffs. Like, that's why they got him. And throughout the regular season, he was kind of hit or miss for a lot of the year. But I agree with you 100%. Like 3,900 for a guy who's going to play 20 minutes or maybe a little more, but 20 minutes.
Play upwards of. Don't be surprised if he plays 30 in some of these games. Seriously,
I think he will, because eventually, when did they just sit Cam down?
They're not going to sit him down fully just because he can.
No, I don't mean fully, but when did they sit him down as in, like, not play him 34 minutes a night? Like, at some point, he put up some fucking paint, as you would say, paint peelers last game. At a certain point, I feel like they got to, pull back on him a little bit, but maybe that's not tonight. Maybe I'm wrong, but still 3,900 on this slate. I agree with you. And the Nuggets can go even thinner in their rotation. I don't think it's going to happen tonight, but like, if this series starts extending, the Nuggets are a team, like, they could easily just not play Spencer Jones, not play, Joe Val, go with, a smaller lineup when Jokic is off the floor. Like, they could do things to give these guys more minutes, to give.
And they will too. Like, they will.
Yeah. Tim Hardaway and Bruce Brown are the only guys off the bench that I would want to play for the Nuggets.
The 7 guys, that's their 7. There'll be games where they only, if it gets tight, that'll be their 7.
Yeah. So those two guys, to me, I think those two guys are good plays. Those are the two good value plays, I think. 4K, 3,900. I agree. Bruce Brown's probably the better, but don't forget Tim Hardaway Jr. too. I think he's a pretty solid play as well at 4K. So yeah, I like it. And I love Aaron Gordon. I mean, Aaron Gordon got in foul trouble early, and then didn't foul like pretty much the rest of the game. That was like the first quarter too, right? End of first quarter, Big T.
So, 3. Yep.
So his minutes are going to be, I think, a little different too, because that kind of changed his rotation maybe a little bit. So I think he's an awesome play at 5,600. That's just way too cheap for someone like Aaron Gordon. The question's more like the Minnesota. I feel like the Denver side's pretty easy. The Minnesota side's the one where we got to, because Rudy Gobert is checking in as like one of the top values on the entire slate right now at 6K. And DC, I'll throw this one to you here. These are your Wolves. What do you think of Rudy as like one of the most popular plays on the slate?
Hard to argue with the price at 6K, but really all the Wolves are kind of underpriced. I mean, I kind of throw Jaden McDaniels in the Josh Hart pool where, I mean, 5,400 for a guy who could easily play 38 minutes, good player, obviously not super aggressive offensively, but, like last game, he got 30 fantasy points, didn't even shoot it well, didn't get any stocks. McDaniels, another guy who doesn't seem to be projecting all that well. So I love McDaniels. Hard to argue with the price for Gobert. Like the stat showed, I think he has his limitations, obviously, but kind of think the Wolves need him out there against Jokic. So I think Gobert's minutes are going to be there. Naz Reid, I think, is interesting, JSU. I know it seems like you have some love for him. I mean, nice discount at 4,900, got in foul trouble, just didn't play well in that first game, but that could easily shift back. I mean, he could even steal some of Randall's minutes, right? If they're doing the same defense and Randall can't hit a three or doesn't want to shoot them, Naz Reid makes a lot of sense to kind of plug in there. So, yeah, I like the Wolf side. I'm a little worried they get blown out here. And I do agree with Big T's overall point. Game stacking one of Atlanta or New York or Denver, Minnesota, I think it makes sense on a 3-game slate. We could easily see 2 of these games blow out. And if that's the case, most of the winners could come from one game if we get one close game and 2 not so close. So I like this game a lot, not quite as much as Atlanta and the Knicks. But I think if you're playing this game, I mean, I kind of want several pieces. Maybe it's Edwards, McDaniels, Gobert, and then Jokic, Aaron Gordon, something like that, where you got several pieces from the game. You hope it's the game that you need. And I wouldn't be shocked if one of these games has, 5 or 6 guys show up on the winner if it's the most competitive game of the night. So should be a fun one. Hard to avoid these price tags. And I want to play Jokic, but it's hard when he's the only one that didn't get any price discount and all these other guys did, and their minutes are going to go up as well. So I do kind of like that mid-tier build tonight overall.
Yeah, and I was surprised with the Minnesota rotation where they played well. I guess it's not that surprising. I thought Bones has played really good all year, and then Conley played double the minutes, which is not a lot, but 11-5 on him. They played Kyle Anderson at times when 2 of the bigs were out, like Rudy and Naz or something like that. I don't think that's gonna stick. I mean, at some point, I think they're gonna have to trim this rotation.
I think Minnesota will tighten up their rotation tonight and going forward. They kind of need to, I think.
So, like, my point is, Naz Reid, I think all the things that happened to him, maybe they don't finish with them. They're still gonna put Rudy out there. I'm not saying he's gonna take Rudy's minutes or anything like that, but I still think he can play, even with Rudy playing his minutes, low 20s, 22, 23 minutes. And at his price tag, I just don't see how he's like a horrible play if he's getting 20 plus minutes at 4,900. I think he's got the upside here. And who's to say he doesn't get hot? He is one of those streaky guys where, when he's going, like, he can give you 4 or 5 threes and actually get real hot, get a bunch of rebounds, get into the flow of the game. He's one of those guys, early how it's going to go, because he's going to check out like he did last game pretty quickly, or he'll be into the game the whole game. So I think Naz is someone to, play. And he's only projecting at 12% right now, which to me is just insanely low on a 3-game slate where the value is not that great. I mean, honestly, the value is not amazing on this slate. So yeah, I think you can play, Rudy with him. I think I know they might kind of negatively correlate a little bit, but I think at the price tags, Rudy's so cheap and so is Naz that they could both get there fairly easy. So I like them. I like Jaden McDaniels as well. 5,400 is way too cheap for someone who's just going to play a ton of minutes and be out there, get open, looks at 3, because everything, the Nuggets defense is all about stopping Ant. Like Tony could probably talk about this more, but it's literally just like make everyone else beat us but Ant. We don't want to let Ant just be able to dunk on us and attack the rim, get guys in foul trouble. We want to force the pass as quickly as possible and make Julius Randle shoot bad 2s or 3s, and Rudy Gobert be an offensive weapon and beat us or Io as opposed to Ant. So that's kind of, an obvious game plan, but that's what the Nuggets did. I thought pretty well too. I thought they made it pretty hard on Ant. Tony, what did you think of the Nuggets overall on defense against Ant? Because I thought they played them really good. I thought Ant actually had a not so great game, even though you look at his numbers and you'd be like, hey, 22, 9, 7, that's a pretty good game. Ant's one of those players, like, he's better than that. I think when you watch it, he could have been better.
Yeah, I just think they're going to play him that way. It's kind of how they played him the last few years, and now he's got even less help than he had before. They're just going to run doubles, and he's going to have to figure out how to play against doubles. It's not easy to get just doubled all game long, and he's a little banged up. There's a lot of reasons, not just because I'm a Nuggets fan, that Minnesota's just got a lot of problems in this series. It's not like the last few times they've played. It's tough sledding for Ant. This is what the playoffs is all about. You need help. No one can win by themselves. I don't care who it is. Jordan couldn't win by himself. LeBron couldn't win by himself. Ant can't win by himself. Doesn't matter who you're talking about. Maybe AI. AI could have maybe won by himself for JSU.
He almost
no one else can win by themselves.
He almost did. I'm sorry, Eric Snow, Aaron McKee.
Have you seen Eric Snow lately? That guy's an athlete. Have you seen him in the last few years?
No, I haven't.
You haven't seen that Twitter thing when they said that one dude posted and got a zillion views because he said Eric Snow ate Eric Snow?
No way. I did see that.
He's like a bodybuilder now or something?
He's enormous. He's bigger than all three of us combined.
What? No way.
Google Eric Snow.
Yeah, look him up.
He is big.
Eric.
Big boy.
No.
Type Eric Snow current weight.
He's been sharing those Oreo cream pies with you, Big T.
What if he responded to the cream pie?
Oh my God. What the F happened to Eric Snow? This is the first image that comes up. That is not Eric Snow.
It's him. He is a big boy.
I was going to pull this picture up like on the show, but I'm not even going to do it to him. That's just me.
I'm allowed to laugh too because I'm fat because he is big.
It's like you're 6'5" and big though. Like he is unnaturally big.
He's
for
way
his
bigger
size.
than me for the record. He is a big boy.
Well, no, but he's not 6'5", right?
He can't be. I don't know.
No way.
He is 6 foot. I don't know.
Yeah, that's my
5'10", 350.
That's my point, though. He's 5'10", 300 and something pounds, and you're 6 feet 5 inches tall. And
when he played, it says he was 210 when he played. He might be 400 now.
Well, yeah, he wasn't like super skinny, as you know what I mean. But he's huge. 375, like huge. Holy crap!
He's big. You're not going to get a current weight, so you got to guess. I think he might be 4 spins.
I think he's 375. That'd be my guess. They're saying he's 6'3".
Yeah, he might be. In the NBA, 6'3" looks smaller than it.
Yeah, I was gonna say 6'3" means 6'1", 6'2". Yeah. Okay.
Whatever it is, the boy has got some size to him.
If he's actually 6'3", then he might be 400 pounds, Tony. If he's oh shit. Poor Eric Snow.
It's gotta be tough. It's like, I gained 200 pounds when I quit playing. It's like anyone you meet is gonna notice
immediately, and they're gonna feel bad because they don't want to get dick. Sean Kemp was that way too. He got to be freaking
I've seen him
massive.
Yeah,
but he's taller too. He's even big and kind of
he's taller than you. Like he's tall. He's like 6'8", right? He's got to be 6'7", 6'8". What it is. So all right, yeah, you're right. No, now I feel like an asshole for even bringing it up. I feel just talking about it. I feel like an asshole. Poor guy. Come on, let's lose a little weight here, Eric. I'm rooting for you here. I'm rooting for your health. All right, that's all 3 games for DFS. quickly, let's just throw out a favorite play. If you have a favorite bet too, you can give it as well. I guess I can start here just because I'll let you guys kind of get your bearings here. For DFS, I think from a low owned standpoint, and in a leverage standpoint too, because Rudy Gobert is going to be one of the most popular plays on the slate, and I understand it. But I think Naz Reid is like the leverage, low owned, 12% owned on a 3-game slate. That's nice ownership here. He's like the cheap guy for sure. And then like, man, this mid-tier range, I just can't get away from it. Like Dyson Daniels and Josh Hart are just the first two going in my lineup. Like they are. So that's the way I'm looking at this slate. From a betting standpoint, I know someone asked me for like a long shot bet or something like that. I mean, you want a long shot bet, like the Ant triple double is like over 50-1. Like that's the way to. So for Ant to be good, I think he's going to have to give them a game like that. But also his assist prop. If you just want to go to his assist prop here, they're forcing the ball out of Ant's hands. So 8 assists is plus 473. 7 assists is plus 252. 8, 473. 9 is plus 860, and 10 is over 15-1 on DraftKings. That'd be like my long shot prop, I guess, is Ant assist, because I think they're forcing him to be a playmaker. They don't have an actual point guard. Mike Conley's not that anymore. Bones isn't really an actual point guard, and he's not really playing anyways. Dante, Io, Ant's got the ball in his hands. It's Ant and Julius Randle doing a lot with the ball in their hands. So, yeah, that'd be my long shot play. DC, do you have a favorite play in DFS or a favorite bet?
Yeah, I think Randle loses out some minutes. I mean, I know people are worried about Gobert. I think Randle's the one more at risk of losing minutes to Naz Reid. So I like that pivot. Looks like Randle, pretty nice price point, should lead to some ownership. But I think Reid is kind of the leverage play, hoping for Randle to lose out on some minutes. Hopefully those go to Naz Reid. So, fade Randle, play Reid. That would be the way I go at power forward for the Wolves.
All right, Big T, got a workbench play? Gonna give us something good?
Yeah, I already said it, but Bruce Brown, baby. I just 3,900. And I think you can start with even Jokic. He's not going to be owned. His price is too high. He's going to be 15% or less. So you get both of them low owned. Bruce Brown, Jokic, the first two guys in my lineup.
All right, Bruce Brown, Jokic, first two guys in the lineup. And we're at the baseball talk here. Perfect time to pivot here for Pretzel. He says, we want baseball. We got you covered here. Big T, DC, gonna get you the baseball talk here. I am going to drop off. So, boys, enjoy the show here. DC, Big T, I'll leave it to you guys. I'm out.
I don't see you out. I see you sitting there.
Yeah, you're still sitting there, JSU.
I'm waiting for the screen to adjust as you're just sitting there. Don't close the whole stream like I did the one time.
Damn it, that's what I was trying not to do, was end the stream. You guys are like, don't close the stream out like I did. And I'm thinking in my head, I don't want to be that asshole like Big T who just ended the stream.
I've done 12 years of shows. I messed up one time and I felt like the biggest idiot in the
now
world.
We call it the Big T, DC, right? We don't pull the Big T. Don't fuck the show up. All right, I'm actually out.
I knew it immediately after I shut it down that it was going to be brutal. All right, here we go. Let me let's pull up the weather edge here. What do we got as far as it's tough to transition over to the old bases, but I love baseball, and it's just the best on Mondays because, like we always talk about, you got the $5 and the $111 tonight. That is awesome. Two awesome tournaments to go with the NBA. So Monday nights, secretly, DC, might be my favorite sports night of the week. As weird as that sounds, I always enjoy Mondays. We do this show. I love the tournaments, Game Log Mondays, like Brittany says. And Brittany sent me that NBA sheet. I forgot that's what I did. I love that sheet last year that people liked. And I just sent a message to Stats, who is just freaking amazing right now with the stuff he's doing. I said, what's the chances we could get an NBA hub not with anything crazy on it, but just like that sheet that we had last year, minutes, DK points, scores of the games. He's like, oh, I can do that quick. So, like always, freaking stats coming through. And let's look at this weather, though. So, what do we got tonight? DC, anything?
I think we're pretty safe weather-wise.
Yeah, it looks clear all the way down. Also, everyone, free. This is free at runpuresports.com. Just super clean, super easy. We have NASCAR up here too, PGA. The Weather Edge. Check it out. Run Pure Sports Weather Edge. Like DC said, tonight there's no weather, but a lot of days there are. All right, let's hop into what's your general thoughts of the slate while I pull up the other stuff here, the MLB Hub.
Yeah, pitching options feel a little bit light to me, down to like 4 or 5 guys that I kind of want to play. And then obviously anytime Coors Field is on the slate, especially with fewer games and with colder weather, most places, just clearly the best spot for offense. So, the decision is kind of any slate with Coors, but especially when it's the Dodgers in Coors, kind of like the first thing you need to decide is if you're going in on that game. It's kind of hard not to against washed up lefty Jose Quintana. But yeah, a few pitching options I like quite a bit. My guy Emerson Hancock back on the slate was pretty good to us last time out. And yeah, decent little 8-game slate for sure.
I hadn't looked a ton at the slate yet. Quintana at Coors, pulled up the team stacks. If you haven't seen the hub over there at Run Pure, check it out. Freaking everything you could need. But team stacks, like I said, 7 runs. Dodgers talking about going against Quintana. You got all the way down. Did I just hit something? Where'd that 5-run total go? I jacked something up. Am I losing my mind, or was one of these teams? It must have just updated in real time because it just said something else on there, and then it went to 4, though. So you got literally 7 runs for the Dodgers. Everything else is in the 4s or lower. Game total 11.6. I mean, you got just a full-blown smash fest to start the slate, which I don't mind when it's like that. All right, let's move over to make sure I got this up right. Maine. All right, so Cincinnati, Tampa, the first game. That's right?
Yeah, I believe that's right. Yep.
Making sure I didn't have it jacked up. All right. So we got Louder versus Schultens. Not a great pitching matchup. Not a high total at all. 3.5, 3.4. Huge downshift from the Reds going from there to Tampa. I don't see a ton in this game, but what do you think with these low totals? And on slates like this where you have the Dodgers the way they are, it's tough for me to really get super contrarian with certain totals that aren't high. How do you proceed on slates like this? And what do you think of this game?
Yeah, I think Schultens and Louder, so 2 younger pitchers. I think both guys kind of mid-tier. I'll admit I don't know much about, or as much about Schultens as I do some other younger pitchers, but he doesn't look to me like a guy you need to avoid. The thing with the Reds is they don't really have anybody hitting outside of Ellie and Sal Stewart. So those guys, Sal Stewart got the second base eligibility too, which is nice. It's a hard position to fill in general. So yeah, Ellie and Sal for the Reds. I think there are better options to go to for hitters other than those 2, but I do think those 2 remain good plays. Even I really do prefer them as a mini stack. That 3-4 hole, you're paying for both of them. I like that a lot. Louder looks like he could have some real splits, struggling against lefties in a small sample size so far. So yeah, Aranda, I think the top play on Tampa, but it is a pitcher's park in Tampa, but there's just not that many places to go to for good offensive environments other than Coors Field. So I think you can look at this game, like I said, Stewart and Ellie for the Reds. Simpson, I think, is a good play, just running wild on everybody. 4,600 leading off. Aranda, you can always play Caminero, especially in Yandy Diaz, but it's those top-of-the-order lefties for the Rays, and then just Ellie and Sal Stewart, really the only 2 Reds that I'm looking at closely.
Yeah, I totally agree with a lot of that. Let me see what is this? Georgia says clicking on Weather Edge on site takes me to plan pricing. Really? Are you signed in? I just clicked it. I don't want to click it because I got everything set up, but I just clicked it on a separate browser and
I think it's still free.
yeah, hopefully it needs to be free. If it's not, we got to figure it out. I mean, obviously mine works, but yeah, are you not a member and it takes you to pricing? If so, I'll send a message and see if we can get that figured out. It might be because you need to. We changed the settings to where you have to sign up for a free account. I think that got added today. So
I think that's what it is. You got to have an account, not necessarily paying to get the Weather Edge.
and that was just today too. So yeah. So but it's free though. So they set this up just so that we can have an actual account and lock it up a little bit. You don't have to pay or anything though. At least my understanding. Today's the first day of it. So just sign up and it should work. But if not, let me know and I'll see if we can fix that because we want that to be free for everyone to be able to use for baseball and golf. So all right, let's move on to the next one. We got St. Louis, Miami, another pitcher's park. First of all, DC, before I go any further, like, can we not just jam the Dodgers like we did the Yankees the one night? Can we not just slam them in and have some fun and get contrarian in other spots? Before I even go on, can we do that, or do I need to start looking a little deeper here at some of these spots?
I mean, it's hard to argue with jamming the Dodgers, given the team total, 2+ runs higher than every other team in Coors against, Quintana, not necessarily going to get bombed every start, but clearly doesn't have much left. So there are some other stacks I like, so I won't go full in on the Dodgers, but absolutely a viable strategy. This game does have one of the stacks that I really do like, though, if you're trying to get away from the Dodgers and the Marlins against Michael McGreevy. I think the results have been not too bad so far. Yeah, he's pitched decently well. I'm not buying it with McGreevy. If you look at, pitch type metrics, like he has definitely some of the worst just raw stuff of any starter in baseball. He also has a long history of getting absolutely crushed by left-handed bats. I think the Marlins have seven of them, I believe, in the lineup today. So, yeah, they got Kyle Stowers, big power hitter. I think the Marlins could do some damage at a little bit lower ownership than some other. I think they'll be, actually the Marlins ownership all under 10%. Makes sense to me. These lefties for the Marlins, Marcy, Stowers, Edwards, Hicks is swinging a good bat. Casey's got power in the 7-hole. I think they can do some damage to McGreevy here. So outside of the Dodgers, I think they are my favorite stack, especially at decent price points and lower ownership. So I'm in on the Marlins. Max Meyer is, I think, one of the cheap pitchers you can use, especially if you're trying to fit those Dodgers guys in. Cardinals are improved. They've got some guys swinging decent bats, but still a good matchup overall for Meyer. It's a good place to pitch in Miami. So, yeah, pretty much all Miami here for me. I think Meyer pitches well enough at 7,600, and I think the Marlins lefties especially do some damage against McGreevy. So I'll be swimming with the fish on this one.
Yeah, the Cardinals are better too, but on slates like this, I think even for St. Louis, who doesn't have a great home park, still a downshift a little bit to Miami's just such a bad hitting park. And the prices just line up so nicely with Max Meyer, 7,600. I have to, even against this lineup, I mean, the top of the lineup, look at all the hot guys at the top of the lineup. Bottom gets weak, though. I mean, Victor Scott's a speed guy. Urias. I don't like the bottom at all. You got to get through a few of these bats, but I think he can do it. I don't know why I like McGreevy. Probably because I was running some teams on like SaberSim and stuff and testing it in the hub too. And it gives me a lot of McGreevy, but it's probably because of the price point. Like, you got a low total, you got a pitcher's park, and the Dodgers. Like, I had the Dodgers cranked in some of my stuff. So I'm sure that's why. And I get your point too. The lefties against him. You look at his 4 starts, like no strikeouts, basically.
I think Meyer is a way better play than McGreevy for strikeout upside, especially.
100%. I'm just saying I'm leaving McGreevy in my pool, but I do agree with you. Like, I don't when I play him, I'm not expecting like 25. I'm hoping to get like 12 and win it with my bats type thing, where this game's 3-2 or something, and you get 15 from Meyer and 13 from McGreevy, but we get all the big bats in there type thing. But yeah, I agree with you there. Let's keep it moving. Atlanta, Washington, Jake Irvin, Bryce Elder. You got two somewhat contact pitchers, and this game I felt like the total was going to be higher, which means the weather is a little cooler. It says 50 degrees. I don't know. Like, this spot feels better than it is, I guess, with these lefties at the top that we always talk about. Wood, Abrams mainly, but you got Lyles doing pretty good. Garcia. You got a lot of cold hitters, though, in this Washington lineup towards the bottom, a lot of dead spots. So that does help Elder and lower the total. And then the Braves are secretly hot. Look at all their hot batters. 1 through 7 have a little bit of a hot streak to them. And even the bottom guys haven't been bad. They finally moved Yastrzemski down to the 9 hole. He's just been so rough. Every time I play him, I feel like he does nothing. Why is it only a 4-run total against Jake Irvin, though?
It's the weather. 50 degrees and strong winds blowing in. It's going to play super pitcher friendly. One of those games where, you know, if you have hitters from this game you're watching, could see a lot of fly balls die at the track here. I still don't think, even with the weather, like, you still have to miss bats, right, to get the strikeouts, even if you're not giving up the long ball necessarily. So Elder, to me, is just kind of too expensive at 8,200 for his K upside, and Irvin is just not any good. Facing the Braves lineup, even in good pitching conditions, I'm not going to him. So both these pitchers off of my radar personally. If this was, if the weather was switched, it was 70 degrees and some winds blowing out in Washington, I'd have a ton of interest in this Braves stack, especially the lefties against Jake Irvin, another guy with really big splits, righty lefty. But it's just tough in this weather. I mean, you're not, you're paying for it for the most part with the Braves, or at least the guys you want. So I think you could stack the Braves. I mean, they could absolutely string a bunch of hits together, base runners against Irvin, and get there. But I like the Marlins better than both these offenses. They're a little cheaper as well. And yeah, mostly off the pitchers. So not a lot in this one. I think we'll see a lower scoring game, but neither pitcher with enough strikeouts to get there in the end.
And so far in the slate, we're in for 3 games. We got terrible pitcher park, terrible weather in Washington as far as hitters. Not making a ton of cases to get me off the Dodgers. I can get super contrarian in other spots. I'm trying to find like some contrarian things, but like the good stuff is you can do a little mini stack with some of these teams you like Miami, a little 3-man Miami stack with lefties. Yeah. A little 3-man Atlanta stack with like a Dom Smith or something towards the bottom. Just get more creative with the men stacks for sure. I thought the Braves were chalky. I mean, they could be. I don't see how they're super chalky though. Let me pull it up in my other.
They got some ownership, around 10%. It looks like, for most of the stack.
The SaberSim has them all the way up to 4-9. I wonder. They got 4-9 total on SaberSim, so I wonder if some of the implieds aren't fully updated on the hub. Maybe
I feel like they're not accounting for the weather quite yet.
Yeah, and I don't love the spot, so I'm glad. I hope Atlanta's getting ownership because, again, the same point I made on last week's show, I'm okay with people spreading around their teams, even if you play 5 teams and do 3 different stacks or something. That's less Dodgers exposure. So the hub now has 5-1 on Atlanta. Oh, perfect. Did it update on here? No, mine still says 4. What is it? Do I need to update it again?
I doubt it. I think that's pulling the actual total, which I think is closer to 4.
Got it. Perfect. Let's move on to Baltimore, Kansas City. Seth Lugo, Kyle Bradish. He killed me last time out too. You got another game that I just don't I don't love. Baltimore's bad. I don't know how they got bad, except for this Jeremiah Jackson, who is definitely hot. He's been hitting at the bottom and just crushing the ball. I think I remember you talking about him coming into the year again. Another one of the younger guys you were talking up early in the year. Whenever you brought it up, Basalo too hasn't been very good. I always like him. Yeah, I just have a hard time playing Baltimore against Lugo. Lugo's too expensive for me to want to play. What's his exact price? The only problem I have pulling the hub up.
9,600 for Lugo.
Yeah, I mean, I can't get to 96, but I do think that's like a good tournament style play where he's not going to fit good with some of the chalk offenses, but Baltimore stinks, man. They're bad, and Seth Lugo's got like decent stuff. I could see him putting up like an upside performance tonight in this game. And look how cold this terrible Royals team is. The whole team's ice cold.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could have two sneakier pitchers in this game, honestly. I mean, Seth Lugo, his worst game of the year is 15 fantasy points. He's had 7 strikeouts in 2 games. He's solid, man. I think it could be a sneaky spot. I just don't know if I'll get to him. And Bradish at 8,600. I mean, no one's going to play him for good reason. I'm almost on the pitchers here more, though. So go ahead and tell me how crazy I am.
I mean, both these offenses have been ice cold to start the year. Like you mentioned, Jeremiah Jackson swinging a good bat, but that's pretty much it for the Orioles. They've had some injuries as well. It's been an ugly start for the Orioles, and Lugo's one of those guys. Like 9,600 he's not that caliber of pitcher for that price tag. But it's a shorter slate. There's not that, there's other than Cease, there's not really any aces going. So you don't need quite the upside, right? I don't want to play Lugo when you got, Skeens and Sale and Schoolball on the mound because he's not going to put up a 30 piece like those guys can. But I mean, 20 to 25 for Lugo, which I think he's very capable of getting here. That might be enough on this slate. So I've got interest in Lugo. Dylan Cease, he has plenty of bad outings. He's going to be 4 times as owned as Lugo is at the same price point. So yeah, Lugo, if you're playing multiple teams, he makes sense. Strikeout upside higher than normal in this matchup against the Orioles. And like we said, the Orioles just haven't been swinging it well to start the year. So Lugo in play for me. I think you could play Bradish as well. I mean, the Royals have been arguably even colder than the Orioles have. Just almost no production outside of anyone other than a little bit from Jensen and Bobby Witt. Bradish, though, had some higher hopes for him coming into the year. A lot of people did. He was kind of a guy gaining some steam in the offseason, but it's been rough for Bradish. Hasn't looked nearly as good as I thought he would. And I'm kind of cooling on him in general. So what's his ownership? 10%-ish for Bradish. Yeah, around 10%. Sabres got him at. I think that makes sense. I prefer Lugo between the two. Not going crazy with this Royals team. They just haven't done much, but I do like Jensen in the 5-hole. Vinny P. Caglione is still cheap. He's done nothing, but the power is still there. I think you can pick off some power bats for one-offs in this game. The wind is blowing out. This is pretty clearly the second best overall hitting environment on the slate, obviously behind Coors Field. So, yeah, some light interest in the hitting, but Lugo actually my favorite play in this game overall.
Yeah, love to hear it. And I do think he'll be a little bit lower owned. The pitching is so open tonight that even the ones I like obviously Dylan Cease has some upside, but the Angels have been good. You go down, there's not like a ton of upside out there. And Lugo is one of the few guys that I think could sprout for like a 30 piece somehow or something if everything breaks his way.
He can get through 7 innings, 6 strikeouts, a win, and there you go. Yep.
100%. With like minimal risk too, without like Baltimore really putting any pressure on him. All right, let's move on. Philly and Chicago. We got Colin Ray versus Aaron Nola. I can't believe Aaron Nola still pitches. He's been through it. The Cubs have been better than I thought they would be. We don't have a lineup yet, a full lineup, but a lot of hot hitters. And that does have a lot to do with those win games. They had a few win games in the last week where their numbers get boosted. But they just have been a good offense, which against a guy like Nola, I could see them being a sneaky – what's the win doing in that game?
It'll play pitcher friendly, but not crazy amount.
Pitcher friendly again. Yeah, I mean, looking at it, I have to have a little interest in the Cubs. I mean, just going against Nola, the total is so low. It's throwing me off in these games I feel like it should be higher than even these. Just looking at the matchups, I feel like Philly going against Ray, man, the weather across the country just getting colder on us right now.
Yeah.
I don't see it. I want to like these guys, but how can I play these price points, at least for the studs, when I can just play Dodgers guys? It doesn't make sense to me. And I get it. The Dodgers are going to be way more popular, but Philly, and these days in baseball, people are going to run optimizers. They're going to use hubs like our baseball hub, and they're going to spread around. People love playing stacks from everywhere. So I don't love Philly, even though I always like Schwarber and Harper, especially Schwarber. I always like Schwarber. Cubs, though, I have a little interest in the Cubs. What do you think of this game?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think both these pitchers you can certainly target against. Schwarber, like you said, Harper would be the top two against Rea, who does gives up a lot of power to lefties, obviously, like that with Schwarber and Harper in there. And then, yeah, Nola, he's looked okay to start the year, but another one that is certainly targetable. And I don't know if these ownerships will come exactly true, but Sabres got the Cubs as like sub 3% across their entire lineup against Nola. I know it's not obviously ideal hitting conditions, but it's not like a true Wrigley win game where it's just impossible to get any offensive production. So Cubs weren't near the top of my list, but at like zero ownership, Big T, I mean, they could absolutely get to Nola here. They've got good bats. It's a pretty good matchup. Yeah, I think the Cubs as a contrarian stack makes some sense. Phillies, I think you could go to, but I prefer just kind of singling out Harper and Schwarber. I think those guys are the two by far most likely guys to do the damage overall. So I'm off these pitchers. I think both of them, Rea and Nola, and then mixing in the bats. I do think if you're going to go with the Cubs, just go with that full man 5 stack against Nola at super low ownership. I think they're a contrarian stack that could get there tonight.
One random BVP too. Somehow Bryce Harper's 0 for 14 against Colin Rea. That's just like a really weird random one. Because I feel like each
for sure. Yeah.
Like how can he go 0 for 14 against Colin Rea? That doesn't even make sense. So just a random thing there. All right, let's move on to, I keep making this screen too big. Dodgers, the featured matchup of the night, going against Quintana. Your boy Robleski going against Colorado. I actually think you can maybe use him a little bit against the Rockies. The Rockies have been decent. I still like playing pitchers against them though. And the Dodgers, I mean, full smash city. Quintana, I mean, they have to have a decent history against Quintana. Have any of them pounded him at all? Let's see what they got.
Probably.
I mean, he's been around a while, right? You might have a BVP in there somewhere. Muncie's 2 for 10. Pajes is 11 for 4 or 4 for 11. There's not as much sample as I thought. I thought there'd be more. Will Smith's 4 for 16. So not a ton of sample there with that. I was hoping we had more, but Dodgers are going to be in a great spot. How's the weather out there? That's where you're at. What's it? We looking good out there today?
Yeah, 70? Should be perfect in the mid 70s with a little bit of winds blowing out. So Coors Field will play like Coors Field does. I mean, there should be no Freddie Freeman on the paternity list. I think he'll miss this game as well, probably back tomorrow. So that does, and then Mookie Betts obviously on the injured list as well. So a little bit of a weaker Dodger lineup than we're used to. But I mean, it's hard to say anything bad about Ohtani and Tucker, Smith, Teoscar, Max Muncy. All these guys are elite plays. They are very expensive. And in the lineup, I don't love I'll throw Pajes kind of in that mix with the top 5 or 6. I don't love the very bottom of this order. We just did the Dodgers lineup. So let me refresh that quick.
It did go? Nice.
Yeah. Ohtani, Alex Call. Cheap guy. I'm sure he'll be super popular.
I love that. He's up top too?
In the 2-hole, yeah, between Ohtani and Smith. But Tucker getting the day off along with Freeman and Betts out of the lineup. So definitely a weaker Dodgers lineup. Not that you're considering Quintana regardless, obviously. Top 2 bats here would be Smith, Teoscar, and Pajes at 3, 4, 5. You can obviously include Call in there. And then they do have Dalton Rushing, who doesn't get a lot of playing time, but it's a home run, it seems like, every time he's in the lineup. 4,100 I kind of like that pivot from Will Smith down to Dalton Rushing. Can only play one of them in a lineup, but Rushing just absolutely crushing it. I know he starts the game left on left, but I'll take a shot on him. Dodgers obviously look awesome. It's just a matter of what kind of ownership are we looking at here? 20 to 30? Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be high on this slate. It's got to be up there.
Looks like 20 to 30% for most of these guys. So they're going to be the chalk. No surprise there. They should be. Hard to argue with it. I do like the Dodgers here for sure. Robleski, I do like him some as a pitcher, but just not missing the bats to be a super viable DFS play. It's hard to play guys in Coors for me who can't get the strikeouts because everything else obviously doesn't line up well. So I actually think the Rockies offense, they got plenty of right-handed power. We do have their lineup as well. Beck, Doyle, Goodman, right off the top, all with a lot of power against lefties. Tovar's Sheep, he hits lefties well down in the 5-hole. Your guy, Willie Castro, I think is a pretty good play at 3,900. I like this Rockies team a little bit as well. Certainly prefer the Dodgers, but if you want to get cheaper with upside, I think the Rockies make some sense too.
Yeah, I mean, this is a night where I'll be one of the few that actually likes the Dodgers lineup more like this, at least for a one-game sample, obviously for not for long term. But you got some of these guys that hit lefties good, like Call's always hit lefties good. I know he's going to be mega chalk, and I usually don't like play that spots like that. But, man, it is such a good spot for him coming in against a lefty, cheap price tag. I don't really see how I'm getting away from it. I'm just going to – I was hoping that it would update on the hub. It probably will in a minute. But what's the all Dalton Rushing? I mean, I love Dalton Rushing. I'm all systems go. I'll get on the Rockies with you too. It's going to be a night where, unless you talk me into one of these late teams, I'm just full shoving Coors and taking my chances. And sometimes it works out. That's how I won the FanDuel belt back there, was with a Coors stack. Sometimes it just is what it is. The slate isn't great offensively. It's 75 degrees in Coors with two pitchers that aren't great and two offenses that can churn runs. So sometimes it is just that easy. So Call better not get a 0 as chalk in the outfield will cook you. Yeah, I mean, what happens when he gets 20? If he gets his – and you don't get cooked that bad with a 0. But how much is Call anyways in the 2K?
3,100. He's going to be massive.
3,100, so – yeah, and like Juice says, the Rockies have been better than people think. They've been pretty solid on offense, so I don't hate DC's take of loading up a little bit. Rockies, maybe even Rockies heavier than Dodgers on a few builds, like a 5-3 the other way or something. So quickly out in NBA, so Sheet will start again. I don't mind Sheet. We talked NBA earlier though. If you want to get some of those takes. Tune back to the beginning of the show. All right, hop on. Next game, Toronto and the Angels. Reed Detmers. I'm echoing again like that one day. Talk for a minute about this game.
Yeah, Blue Jays Angels in Anaheim. So another pretty good spot to hit. I think we'll almost certainly see Dylan Cease as the most popular pitcher on the slate. Sabres got him at 40% right now. Actually, the two most popular pitchers on the slate come from this game, according to Sabre at the moment. So Dylan Cease makes a lot of sense. I mean, he's a boom-bust type pitcher, but the strikeouts, you're going to get your 100 pitches, probably 6 innings, tons of strikeouts in this Angels lineup. So it can be a dangerous matchup. I mean, Angels have a ton of power throughout their lineup, so Cease could get hurt by the long ball. And Cease's chalk, expensive chalk, always makes me a little bit nervous, but I do think he's clearly got the most upside on this slate. Chances of scoring 30 plus, clearly Cease above the field. So I understand the chalk. I will have some Cease. I think there are other decent options, including Detmers in this game, who's looked good early on here in the season. He's always had talent, hasn't really panned out so far, but coming off brilliant start against the Yankees, 7 innings, 9 strikeouts to no walks in that one. And this Blue Jays lineup, there's a few teams overall and on the slate who have struggled out of the gate. And Blue Jays, certainly one of them. No George Springer is a nice boost to Detmers. I think it's really close between him and Max Meyer. It looks like the ownership will be somewhat similar. I lean Meyer over Detmers very slightly. I think his strikeout upside is higher, but I think it's pretty close, and you could certainly play both pitchers in this game. Bats for the Blue Jays, I think Vlad and Okamoto looks like they should be maybe hitting 2-3 today. Make a lot of sense. Ernie Clement should be leading off. He's super cheap, 2,500. In a pretty good place to hit relative to the slate. Even like Eloy down there at 2,200. It's looked pretty decent to start the year when I've seen him hit. So, yeah, I think you could play the Blue Jays, especially, knowing that it looks like a lot of people are going to go to Detmers, get some leverage and upside with that Blue Jays stack. I think that makes some sense. I'm mostly off these Angels bats. Don't love the matchup with Cease, though.
Yeah, it's gonna be tough for me not to like Detmers. The thing about Detmers, he am I still echoing?
No, you're good on my end at least.
Good. I thought I heard it again. The thing about Detmers, he's shown massive upside in tough spots before too, where he just can pop. And like you said, some of these starts, look at some of the lineup, like Linian Sosa. I know he hits lefties better. He's one of my splits guys. Eloy hits lefties better too. Toronto's just been so bad, and I have a hard time not clicking Detmer, so he's probably my number one. Dylan Cease, I like the upside, but for whatever reason, the Angels just have mojo going. I mean, they have pounded the ball. You got a lot of hot hitters. Trout's been as good as anyone. Solaire's been hot. Moncada's got a few. Joe Adell's shown tons of power. They've honestly been good. Like every time we've talked them up, they've rolled for us. And it's another team that I think min stack with the Dodgers is awesome. Like you can find 3 bats in this lineup against Dylan Cease very, very easily. And honestly, besides Adam Frazier, I'm pretty okay with every other guy in the lineup as a mini stack. Like I don't think you should full stack against Cease, but he's going to give up a bomb or two. And I feel pretty strong about the Angels here against Cease, but I'll also play some Cease. He's got upside. He can strike out enough to get you upside on this slate. Clearly the best overall pitcher on the slate.
Yeah.
I just don't like the matchup, though. The Angels are secretly like, if they stay healthy, they're pretty good. I mean, they're a good, solid team. So, yeah, I'm with you, but pitchers here, I'm definitely not playing Toronto bats, though. I shouldn't say that because maybe there's a Dodgers stack that, like, look at these prices. These prices are insanely cheap. I mean, just dirt cheap. So I better not say I'm not going to play any because maybe there's a Dodger stack that I need a cheap batter to, but I definitely don't love it. Like maybe you could play like a 4-5 Eloy Linian where you're only spending $4,500 for the 2 guys. That balance is really good with a Dodger stack, but I'm with you. Let's move on to the last game. Another pitcher's park. Hancock versus Ginn, or what do you say, Jen or Ginn? Ginn?
I think it's Ginn, but not 100% sure.
Ginn. And this is another game that there's just no chance I'm going to offense here, so I'm not even going to waste time talking about it unless you talk me into somebody.
I got some interest in the Mariners bats. Ginn, one of the another kind of true splits guy. He's gotten absolutely crushed by left-handed bats, especially in the power department. And the Mariners start has been so bad that you're kind of getting discounts on their entire lineup from what they normally are. I mean, you see Raleigh down there at 4,600. He was a 6K player last year. JP Crawford leading off 2,200. Even the right-handers in the lineup, Julio and Arozarena are cheap. So I do like this Mariners team a little bit as a somewhat cheaper, probably somewhat contrarian stack. Looks like they will get some ownership due to the low price tags. But I do like the Mariners lefties, especially, and the righties are cheap enough to play as well. So Mariners side, I do like some against Ginn, who I'm not a huge believer in. And then Emerson Hancock, we were on the show last week. Like him quite a bit as a contrarian option. He was solid, gave up a couple runs at the end of the start, but overall was good, got up to 98 pitches. And I still think he's underrated as a starter. I think Hancock's going to have some really good outings. A lot of swing and miss in the A's team. They obviously got to go on the road away from Sacramento to one of the better pitchers parks in baseball in Seattle. So I like the Seattle side a lot here. Hancock, maybe my favorite play on the slate once you take ownership into account. I think 15% too low. I wouldn't be surprised if he's the SP1 on this slate when it's all said and done. So back in on the Emerson Hancock train. I'll play some Mariners bats for sure. You can play guys like Kurtz and Langoliers, Soderstrom. I mean, all these guys have huge power, but they're expensive and obviously want to fit those Dodgers bats in. So I don't think I'll play too many A's guys, but Hancock I have a ton of interest in for sure.
Yeah, totally get it. And that is the slate. We went through all the NBA games, all the baseball games. Let's talk favorite pitching combination and maybe a contrarian pitcher too, just the way this slate goes. So who's your two favorite pitchers and maybe a low-owned guy that no one's going to play?
Yeah, I think Hancock and Max Meyer. I want the savings, and Cease is expensive and chalky, so I'm okay not playing him on my main lineup. But yeah, Hancock, I'm a believer in. We'll keep buying for now. And Meyer has the good matchup at home against St. Louis. Also get the cheap price tag, $7,600. I like him a little bit more than Detmers, who I think will be higher owned as well. So Hancock, Meyer for me. I do think Seth Lugo, a pretty good contrarian spend up if it fits your build. Maybe you're on the cheap Mariners like I am a little bit. Makes sense to me to pivot from Cease to Lugo with the what should be a really big ownership gap between the two. I don't think their projections should be that far apart.
Yeah, and when you look at some of the cool stuff on the hub too, like for Hancock, you got him projected for 19. He's optimal 25% of the time according to the hub, only 22% ownership. So some of the stuff I like to look at with the hub is just the difference. So like Cease popping 54% in the optimal, only 36% owned. I don't know. Stuff like this always interests me because I think he will be lower owned for his upside. I wasn't planning on playing him, but just kind of dipping into it more. Maybe I need to think more about Cease just because of his upside. I like Detmers the most, though. I mean, only 22% owned, it's saying. Detmers the most, and Max Meyer. I know is Max Meyer really only going to be 10? He's got to be higher than 10%, right? Like,
I would think so, but yeah, obviously don't know for sure.
let me see. So on the other stuff,
Sabres got him at 15% right now.
15. So still low though. Still. I mean, I like that a lot. I know St. Louis been good, but I feel good about him. And I mean, I was considering him chalky, so maybe he's my more contrarian. I actually like my contrarian guy is Bradish. I know he hasn't been good, but I think that game really disappoints. Both offenses are super weak. I think he's a sneaky play, but I honestly think it's another slate where I'm just going to shove cores and I'm going to spread these pitchers all around. I'm going to play a bunch of different arms with cores bats because I just don't see anything. Let's look at the stacks. Let's pick our favorite. Let's pick our favorite couple and then maybe a contrarian stack there too.
Yeah, obviously love the Dodgers. Everybody's going to. But contrarian stacks for me would be the Mariners, especially the lefties against JT Ginn. And then the Marlins, again, going to the lefties against McGreevy, who I think some big regression coming for McGreevy in a hurry. I don't see him as a viable big league arm. And Marlins got a little more punch than they used to. So I like the Marlins some here.
I like your takes. Miami. So one guy that just pops when I was looking through it as you were talking. I mean, Kyle Stowers. You might end up using him for like the home run portion when we pick homers, but man, Kyle Stowers pops off the page to me as a guy that I want to play tonight. I told you I'm obviously shoving cores, but as far as like low owned, just looking down here, Washington always just stares at me. I know the weather's not good, but those lefties, I have to get me some Washington. That's the one team that's a little contrarian, that's probably not in a good spot. I get it, but they just have treated me so good. Them and the Angels are the two teams that have treated me very good early in the year with like upside and just getting the job done. So that's where I'd go. All right, dongs. Let's pick what do we usually pick? Three
dongs. Yeah.
What we
want
got?
first pick over there?
Do what?
You want first pick tonight?
Yeah, I'll go first. I want a random Dodgers guy. Where'd you say Pages? I still don't have that lineup. Oh, here
He's
we go.
hitting fifth, I believe. Yeah, fifth.
Give me Pages. I want Pages. He's going to hit one for sure. Chalky guy, but give me Pages.
I like that. I'll go to the other side of that game and go with Brenton Doyle, 3,400. So a point and a half with the $3,500 price tag.
Like that a lot. Let me find. Give me, man, that weather is so brutal in Washington. I want to take one of these guys so bad, but the wind's blowing in. Don't love it. I'm going to go with your boy. I thought you were going to take him. Yeah, I got to steal him from you now. Kyle Stowers. I saw all the profile. He's my favorite one-off tonight. Like, totally random. I don't like Miami overall. I love Stowers, though. Just a pure one-off play with my Dodgers stack. Kyle Stowers.
Like the Stowers call, I'll go with another lefty, same team, Owen Casey, who I think is going to be – hasn't done a ton yet. He's been all right. But I think overall, kind of when it's all said and done at the end of the season, I think he'll have very similar numbers to Stowers. They strike me as super similar, big power lefties that don't offer a ton else. So, yeah, Owen Casey, another cheap one at 3,100.
I need one. What's our threshold for where we get more credit? 3,500. I need to find one cheapie.
Yep.
One cheapie. Who's a freaking cheapie? There's not many under 3,500 tonight.
Not too many, no.
Give me. Can't even get my boy Willie Castro under it. You slid under it with Doyle too at 34. You know what? I got to go to that. I'll take Jordan back at 3,300 just to get me one under 35. Yeah, so Jordan back for my last one.
Was a real
Moncada, I do like Moncada too.
I like the Moncada call. It was a close call for me between Beck and Doyle. But I'll go to a third bonus guy, Jack Caglianone, who –
oh, now you're getting creative. Now you're trying
this guy, man. The home runs are coming for this guy. Good place to get tonight.
No, you always have to get one in there. I was all over you on all of them. But you finally got me to get a shed a laugh on it. Can I get you a bomb by making fun of him? Last week when I made fun of Arenado.
I hope so. I'm playing some Caglianone. He's got top end power. I know he hasn't shown up yet, but. Yeah, I'll take my shot on Caglianone there for the Royals.
Oh, my God. If I said Caglianone, you would have laughed me off the show. He's got 0 home runs and 1 double-digit game. Oh, you would have made so much fun of me if I said that guy. You would have laughed me right off the show.
No.
All right.
Not tonight, though.
We are over an hour and a half in. I think we covered everything. Any questions or anything from the people, hop over in the Discord. Playoffs 26 is the promo code right now. 26% off any Run Pure package. They don't include SaberSim. I know some people get on there like SaberSim. You can get the SaberSim, but it's just not discounted because it's such a good product. It doesn't get discounted. So Playoffs 26 for all the Run Pure stuff. More stuff getting added to the site every single day. DC, anything else tonight? We got good night of action. Our 2 squads battling. What's on the agenda for you?
Yeah, we're watching some hoops, following the baseball, obviously, and in the Discord, getting cores in, playbooks up for members, and we'll be ready to go. Should be a fun night of sports.
Love it. We will be back tomorrow. I'm not sure who's on the Tuesday show. Maybe it's DC Boynton.
Boynton. Ticket Tuesday coming up after I dusted his ass last time. So.
Yeah, those last week when he was crying about all the different things he had going on.
Always crying.
I think we might talk a little NBA too, because you guys go on at 5, right, on Tuesdays?
Yeah, 5 Eastern. Yep.
Maybe me and JSU will hop on and talk NBA before, and then I might stay around for a minute and needle Mr. Boynton about his Ticket Tuesday last week. But we are out of here. Everybody have some fun tonight. Let's keep these winners going. Let's stay hot in the Discord and check us out over at Run Pure. Have a good night. We'll see you soon.